lesson. This event shows what happens when brands work together to accomplish something. IMEX, the largest trade show in the country for its travel meetings and events, and Las Vegas, the #1 trade show destination for the past 19 years. It's a terrific combination, and we're thrilled with the partnership. It's been a great week for Las Vegas. Literally thousands of meetings conducted on the trade show floor. In the Las Vegas booth alone, we had close to 2,000 meetings. Those meetings will generate future revenue and business for the community. As someone who lives in Las Vegas and has been here for 23 years, I thank everyone who participates because the revenue that's generated as a result of the meetings and events that come to our city generate jobs, build schools, build roads, and make this a better place to live. The business negotiations that took place this week all contribute to that. So from the bottom of my heart, I'm very thankful to be a part of this program. The LVCVA has identified international visitors as a key component of our future growth as we look to increase international visitation from 17 to 30%. IMEX America is helping us to accomplish that by allowing us to showcase the destination to meeting planners and international customers. So as we move forward and now we're going to increase visitation and business meetings, we're very pleased that we have the opportunity to talk about a new program for Las Vegas, the introduction of the Las Vegas Global Business District. It's a $2.5 billion program designed to vault us decades into the future as the premier destination for meetings, events, and trade shows. It will consist of an expansion of the Las Vegas Convention Center, a renovation, more meeting space, more exhibition space, a World Trade Center facility, and a transportation hub. We're in the initial processes of moving this forward. It will be a 7 to 10 year process. You'll be hearing more from us in the weeks and months to come regarding the next stages of this program. With that, I'd like to thank all the providers, the attendees, the exhibitors, the media, who contributed to make this such a terrific week for Las Vegas and for the industry. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Rick, and Ray, you, Brina, and the entire congratulations. It's a great event, great energy, great buzz on the floor, how the business being done. All the feedback I've ever received has been very positive, so congratulations. MPI, for those of you who are not familiar with it, we're the leading global association focused on the meeting and event professional. We have 20,000 members based around 71 chapters around the world. And our core focus is professional development and advocating for the growth and relevance of the industry. So with that, we are really proud and pleased to be the strategic partner with IMEX as the premier education provider for IMEX America. And we had some excellent participation this week within our education program. First with an organization that we jointly partner with IMEX on and MCI, the Future Leaders Forum. We had over 100 students and young professionals here for 2 days, learning about the industry, learning from each other, and networking. Just a fantastic program to bring the youth into the industry and show them the career paths available to them. From our educational perspective, our big program here is focused on what we call Smart Monday. And on Monday, we have over 32 educational sessions. Those sessions were attended by over 1,200 professionals in the industry to learn and network with each other. And it's very important for these professionals to track the hours that they receive credits towards certifications and renewals of certifications, and just shy of 2,000 hours were tracked and credited, 1,976 hours. So fantastic performance there. We also had each morning a keynote speaker for the early birds who wanted to do something before the general session or before the floor opened. And in there we had 4 different speakers. And we had over 1,500 attendees in those sessions. So each morning we had a great group coming in, getting inspired, getting energized, and learning. And then the last area that we really were participating in, and key sponsors are up here helping us support, is we have a big fundraising initiative tied to the MPI Foundation. Our foundation is focused on two things: education and research that supports the growth and relevance of the industry. That foundation has an event here at IMEX America called Rendezvous. It was held at Pure Nightclub last night at Caesars, and we had over 1,700 people who came last night, and I think about 1,000 of those left this morning. It was a very good event, very well attended, and it really does a great job in showcasing the industry, but also helping us raise funds for those great causes around education and research. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. First of all, I'd just like to outline how we've gone from the point of view of some statistics. First of all, to say that, as you can see, we've grown more or less everywhere. First of all, the exhibit floor itself, the exhibitor increase has gone up to 2,694 from 2,400 odd last year, and the show floor has grown even more than that. We've mentioned earlier in the week, but it is worth mentioning these appointments because the growth in appointments has been so dramatic. It's partly because of the technology that we're using, it's partly because, of course, the increase in hosted buyers. But when you're talking about around about 50,000 online appointments made between the buyers and the sellers before they arrive in the show, then it gives everybody confidence, and of course great business opportunities are already planned. In addition to that, through the group appointments, which was about another 1,000, we were just under another 10,000 appointments through those groups on the stand. So you're talking around a total of at least 60,000 before you talk about people walking onto the show floor and the normal way in a trade show. So that's very significant. And I'm able now to announce the hosted buyer numbers. Last year we were up to 2,400. We said to be a significant increase, and we're just a fraction under 2,700 this year. So we're very pleased with that increase. And in addition to that, it's certainly worth mentioning that many of these hosted buyers are also staying longer. In other words, staying extra overnights, which of course is giving them much more time on the show floor, which of course is another reason why the appointments are up so much, and therefore business opportunities. So that's really an outline of the stats for now. I'll talk a little bit about next year before we invite questions. The other thing I wanted to mention is that, of course, we've moved into different halls here this year, and the layout of the halls gives us the opportunity to give a different look to the show. That, together with the investment and the creativity by the exhibitors, I believe, and I think many people have said it, is the show looks a lot different this year, and it's improved a great deal. So I think that's worth commenting on as well. And of course, we thank the exhibitors there who are investing so much in the show. And one or two other initiatives to mention. Yesterday was the first Policymakers Forum. We had many partners, and one of our major partners is US Travel, and they organised the Policymakers Forum. It was very timely in one sense, not necessarily all positive, that is to say. We were hoping that the Mayor of Washington was going to join us yesterday, alongside the former Mayor of Las Vegas, who was here, Oscar Goodman, and also David Goss, who is the Mayor of Santa Fe. Because of the close down in Washington, and we were told reliably by the Mayor of Washington he was going to fix it so that they actually settled everything that they did, so he could come and his ticket wouldn't be wasted. But they didn't manage that. But what we did do yesterday was we were able to beam in live from Washington. So that was great. So we look forward to, because the political advocacy is so important to our sector, and we're involved in it so much as IMEX, both in Frankfurt with our Politicians Forum, now together with US Travel, that this is the beginning, we believe, and we see how we can develop the Policymakers Forum in the future, to see if we can refine it and learn from it. Another initiative I want to mention, and it's connected very much to the business opportunities, is an event we call the Executive Meetings Forum, which is a specially designed educational afternoon for corporate meeting planners at the very highest level. These people wouldn't necessarily normally attend a trade show, and certainly they wouldn't make appointments in the conventional way. However, 30 of them attended, and when I welcomed them, I said to them, well, how many of you have been to the show yet? Every one of them put their hands up, so they're coming here and they're visiting the show. And some of the names involved include Microsoft, KPMG, Wells Fargo, Monster, and Cisco, just to mention 5 out of the 30. Now, they have a total purchasing power, I'm informed, of $2.5 billion annually. So that gives you an idea. And they then met up with some key suppliers later on at the reception, and it's very well received. And in fact, I met the lady from Cisco just a few minutes before this press conference. I bumped into her just walking through, and she was absolutely thrilled. And here she is on the last afternoon, still in the show, talking to the exhibitors. So I wanted to mention that to you because it's pretty select, but it's a very important part of what we do. And all these people do hit the trade show floor, which is vital for everyone's point of view. Mention one or two other things, and that is that the future leaders have already been mentioned by Paul. I would just like to mention this because this partnership, IMEX, MPI and MCI, specifically on the future leaders I'm mentioning, this was our 100th Future Leaders Forum held here this week. We've been doing this for the last 10 years, and I didn't realise until I was informed a week or two ago this was going to be our 100th. As I mentioned to them all this morning, I haven't certainly had intended all 100 of them, but they're held all over the world, but certainly to have held 100, we're pretty pleased. So we look forward to building on that in the future. As Paul said, it's so important for us to develop and produce the future leaders. I think that I'd like really to talk about a little bit about the future at this point, and to say that we've had a successful show. The feedback has been very positive indeed, and there is a chance that the show is going to grow again next year. We never take it for granted, but there is a chance. But we will commit from now to say that definitely what's going to grow next year is the hosted buyer program. So I won't give you any numbers because I don't know yet, and I beg, as I said last year, say too much without speaking to our director of the hosted buyer program, otherwise I get into trouble. So nevertheless, it is definitely going to grow next year. At this point, before I invite questions, I'd just like to comment on our partners who are here today, because not only are they partners, but great friends. And if I just take it from the other side, just to say, when we first launched IMEX America, Karina and myself came here, and we met with LVCVA, and we met and we said, if we're going to bring the show, we want to work as partners. We have done, and it's extremely important to the show that we work as partners. Whilst this is a show for the whole industry, it's here in Las Vegas. And whilst it's here in the Sands Expo, nevertheless, it's for everyone here, and therefore, all of the properties are heavily involved and hosted by the state, but many of them. So this is really a show for the industry and for Las Vegas, and we're glad to LVCVA as our partners. As for this incredible complex show, it's wonderful. And as I was hearing the future leaders this morning, I've got to say, Peter was addressing the future leaders forum this morning, head of operations, head of operations, and he was explaining to these young people over 100, you can have the finest building in the world. It doesn't mean anything. What means something? Because people can build a building, and as many rooms as there are here, there's many more around the city. But what matters is the hospitality of the people. And he was explaining this to the young students this morning. And all I'm going to say is that the welcome is more than hospitality. The support that we get here, John, from you and your colleagues, is unprecedented. It's absolutely fantastic. And so therefore we're absolutely delighted to be here. So thank you, John, and thank you to all of the team. Just brings me on to our strategic partnership with MPI, which is very strong, and it has been the foundation of when we started IMEX America. Immediately MPI and us became partners as strategic partners. MPI very involved, and it goes beyond smart money, yes, education, opportunities, many other initiatives. Last night, Ron, if you connected to our own reception, it goes way beyond that. And again, it's a very close partnership between our two teams. Thank you for that. It's extremely important to the show, as are our partnerships with all of the other trade associations. So I think at this point, if I invite any questions to myself or any colleagues here, if there are any.
Any questions? Anybody need a microphone?
Ray, I'm just curious, do you have an economic impact number that's public for the impact of the show?
The situation with that, this obviously is critical when one can get the information. And last year I mentioned a figure based on previous Frankfurt. I actually mentioned a figure of over $3 billion. The thing is that and of course we haven't got it for this show yet, so let's be clear. But when we take it back to a recent Frankfurt show, because we go out to all the buyers and we do get a very strong representation back of the business that's done, but not everybody replies, as you'd understand. Even if we get 30%, which is huge, it still doesn't give us the other 70%. But even on that 30%, it went well over $1 billion, in euros, well over $1 billion. So I'm guessing when I start talking about people who haven't told us, but it's in the billions. But that there is absolutely no doubt.
Any more for any more?
James Ray from International Racing Review. Ray, can you give us an idea of how this show now compares statistically with the mothership in Frankfurt?
I think we've got two motherships. It's interesting, really. I'll give you the facts, but I'll tell you how it looks afterwards. It looks to me, I'm talking about, I know the facts and the stats on it, it looks the same to me, roughly speaking, when I walk in. And I was trying to work out why, because this isn't quite as large, but it's a little bit the arch, a little bit from the cafes in the middle, and certainly from the layout of the halls. We're roughly speaking, in our terms, roughly 80% of the way there to be the same size as Frankfurt by the 30. So, and in terms, there's more hosted by going to Frankfurt, but as you can see, we're increasing them here. And I have to say, of course, the spending power overall requires coming here as much now.
Hollywood with smart meetings. I was just wondering if you could give us some examples of ways that things you've done to help grow the show.
Well, I mean, the driver for everything we do is all about business opportunities. And of course, the way that we generate buyers is through intermediaries, including many people in this room as well. And it's the majority of those buyers generated by the hotel groups and properties as well. And of course, they're coming through trade publications and other representatives and so on. So we will continue to do that. The answer to it is to grow the show, to grow the buyers. That's the important thing to me. The trade show floor will take care of itself if we're producing the business opportunities. So I just focus on the business opportunities. And that's the way we intend to grow the show. And some of our intermediaries, we class those that bring in those buyers as intermediaries. Some of them are already talking to us about increased numbers next year. And indeed, the one or two new ones we're talking to as well. So that is the way we want to grow the show. We want to grow the hosted buyer program, and we want to grow the appointments business opportunities.
Question is, obviously growth is always a significant achievement. My question then is, how much growth are you aiming for? Is there a target number for when you are going to say, oh, that's enough?
I'm pleased to be able to tell you we've exceeded that target already, so I'm not quite sure how to answer that. There aren't any targets. No. We're very pleased with where we are. We will just continue to increase the hosted buyer program. We'll do that again next year. We'll see where it takes us. But in terms of the show floor, no, there are no targets. We're very pleased with what we have.
Your sentence also e-news. Maybe just an observation, not from the show, but the United States, you're one of the pioneers actually bringing the meeting and incentive trade show to the United States, what was really worked, and I think IMEX without doubt is the leader in this country. When you started, a lot of the challenges the United States had to be an international place to do conventions and business shows is our visa requirement. For instance, in the state where I'm from, in Hawaii, Hawaii always wanted to be the center of the Pacific and host shows from regions in East Asia and South America and so forth. Do you see, in talking to your clients, to your exhibitors, that this has improved in the United States, that the U.S. is becoming a more open country, or did it not change, or is it maybe getting a little bit worse?
I'm pleased to say that one of our partners is US Travel, and they can certainly answer that one much better than me. We haven't had any comments whatsoever about the visa situation this week. But we do know that it's very, very important, and we do know that US Travel are taking this on board seriously, not just recently, but over several years, with Roger Dow heading that. So of course it's extremely important, there's no doubt about that, but I can't say we've had any comments on it. So I can't see it as a
now, if you give me your card afterwards, I'll get you some actual stats from US Travel. I don't want to quote them because I might get them a little bit off, but Roger spoke to them yesterday, and that is a key part of the advocacy of US Travel, is working with our State Department, and we've seen significant increases in the amount of visa-exempt countries, as well as the reduction in time it takes to process people into the U.S. So I'll give you those stats just to drive your business parameters.
don't want to dominate, I mean, but, okay.
One more question will allow.
So sorry, I have a different issue maybe to the gentleman from the Las Vegas Convention Bureau. This is an observation away from IMEX. IMEX is a success. Las Vegas is the #1 city in the world to hold conventions. So any meetings, congratulations for this. But I'm wondering what your organization is doing to address issues I found as a visitor. It's been here now for almost 2.5 weeks attending Root and now IMEX. Found quite disturbing and make me want to go home as soon as I can. One is, it feels like everywhere you go as a visitor, you get nickel and dime. Everyone wants to get more money for services there. Other places are complimentary, whether it's using a gym in a hotel. One issue is specifically your convenience stores in all your properties in Las Vegas have items for sale. Obviously, it's up between the customer and the store to pay $70 for a small bottle of water. But what's disturbing is that there seems to be no regulation in place in Las Vegas that this actually has to be disclosed. When you go to a convenience store, there are no prices. So you walk in there, everything seems to be free. So you don't know until you get to the cashiers in between 9 to 10 minutes. Number two is I observed that you have a new tax here, which is an live entertainment tax. I visited the Irish Club at the hotel I'm staying at the Mandalay Bay, and the $7 beer came to be $14 after you're done with the tip, because they offer live entertainment tax, which is 20-some%. What do you think a visitor authority could possibly do to communicate with the tax authorities and your properties to make this more visible for visitors, so they don't feel like when they go home, I really, it's a great city, but I really got cheated out of everything I could possibly get taken advantage of.
Well, the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority is the official destination management organization charged with working with the community to fill the hotel rooms and the space in the city. So we do work and have very good relationships with the local entities, but we're not a taxation authority. So although we're interested and want to hear the concerns and relay that information, it's challenging to address. I appreciate the specifics so we can bring them up, but in reality it's very difficult for us as the destination management organization to tell private industries how to operate their businesses as far as pricing and things like that are concerned. So we are aware that sometimes, especially when we deal with international visitors, that you have, not you personally, but sometimes it's more difficult to ascertain what the pricing of something is. So we appreciate the information and we'll take a look at that.
But especially when it comes to taxes.
I think we better carry on. I'm glad to direct any questions related to either what we're doing or with the meetings in our sector, because it's a rare opportunity to have all together to talk about our sector in such a positive light after the show. So if there's any questions related to the show or our sector, we'd be happy to take them.
One question is asked to Tyler, so if you've already asked a question, I'll come back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Tyler Davidson, Meetings Focus. I was just wondering, you mentioned that I believe that the mayor of Washington, D.C. could not attend. Were there any other effects of the government shutdown that impacted the meeting in any way?
That's very interesting, because thank you for the question. In the lead up to the show, we were getting a number of questions coming in from around the world, I have to say. So we were rather hoping before we left the UK that it would get resolved. But fortunately, it didn't affect immigration. I really can't think that it affected the show at all. We weren't particularly concerned because our colleagues here were telling us it shouldn't affect anything. But so it was just a tinge of concern. I'm very happy to report that it didn't affect it at all. The good news for the entire world is that it was resolved before today.
Let's make this the last question, ladies and gentlemen.
This is for Las Vegas Convention. You said Las Vegas is the #1 trade show destination for the 19th year running. Can you quantify that in terms of actual number and the revenue that it takes in?
I don't have the information with me, but I can provide that. So it's based on the trade show 250, which is publication which releases its list of the 250 largest trade shows in North America. And based on the information in that, it's been 19 consecutive years that Las Vegas has hosted more of those than anybody else. So I can provide you with a specific list as well. So that is on your
Thank you. Thank all of you. I think I'd like just to close by saying the next stop for us is going to be Frankfurt next May, and then back here next October. So I'd just like to thank all of you for joining us this afternoon and joining us at IMEX America. I wish you a very good day.